Hello everyone, and welcome to my second presentation. The construction achievements of Earth's previous civilizations are extraordinary. These buildings were uniquely elegant, densely detailed, and executed with a level of craftsmanship that still stands out, even alongside modern projects with substantial budgets. And we can see the public response to that craftsmanship in a simple way: the demand. Every single year, the masses collectively spend billions of dollars on flights, hotels, tickets, and guides, and so on, to experience historic architecture in person. This product that people are buying and devoting their time into is usually never for the modern aspect of the place. It's the old structures that are almost always the main destination. An example is the Taj Mahal. Massive numbers of travelers go to that region specifically to see that one architectural artwork up close. As you can see on the right side, it's the same thing with the pyramids in Egypt. A millennia later, they both remain overwhelmingly visually dominant. With both of these places, the surrounding contemporary construction does not even closely match the level of permanence, precision, or ambition. This pattern repeats globally with cathedrals, pyramids, basilicas, palaces, and so on. These structures feel almost alive. It's quite evident that comparatively, old world construction versus today's modern technology is in a totally different league. The people behind these constructions were far from dirty peasants or slaves. They were highly skilled, and they all clearly knew exactly what they were doing. Even now, with laser scanners, power tools, and this new rise of the digital world with artificial intelligence, a lot of what the old world pulled off still makes engineers and architects today stop and ask, if we cannot construct these structures today, how did they do it back then? Up top, you're looking at a couple of the software tools builders rely on today. The modern control panel for design, layout, and coordination. Down below is a list I got by asking ChatGPT to name me some of the most powerful construction innovations in use right now. And here's the punchline: not a single one of them predates the 1940s. So basically, we have a whole toolbox of modern advantages, yet those old masterpieces were built without any of it. Next up, I want to bring in a modern, real-world example, something documented in 2023 by a YouTuber named James Lauslin. He got a 25,000-pound boulder and decided to turn it into a stone tub. Throughout the process, he repeatedly describes certain stages as extremely long, tedious, and genuinely stressful, especially the sawing and the grinding. The boulder was granite, with quartz running through it. This is important to know because quartz makes an already hard stone even harder to cut. James explains this using the Mohs hardness scale, which is a simple way to rank how hard materials are. For context, marble is around a 3, granite is around a 7, and quartz is around an 8. After carving out the interior, he estimates that he removed roughly 10,000 pounds of stone, bringing that boulder down to about 15,000 pounds. At that point, he tried to lift it onto a trailer using a backhoe loader. But his machine could only lift 10,000 pounds. After doing some engineering and math, James calculated that the stone was way over the machine's limit. The result was telling. He could only raise it about 2 inches off the ground, nowhere near enough to actually hoist it onto his trailer. This project took him roughly 7 weeks of hands-on work spread across 6 months. The finished product he achieved is lovely, and in my opinion, it was worth the time investment. Just as a reminder, it was with a granite/quartz boulder that weighed 25,000 pounds. This segment should have given you a sense of what working with stones is like. Now, with that in mind, let's raise the difficulty. A bunch of ancient artifacts that date back to over thousands of years ago were carved from diorite, a dense, fine-grained, extremely tough igneous rock. It's the kind of material that resists abrasion, punishes mistakes, and is heavier than granite. Its tightly interlocking grain often makes working with it much slower and harder. The more closely you examine specific things from the old world, the more the questions multiply. As impressive as diorite works are, they're really just a warm-up for what I want to end with. Keeping in mind the stone tub that James had made, I'm going to talk now about a subject that draws in researchers, historians, engineers, and construction experts from all over the world. Inside of the Great Pyramid in Egypt, there is a place called the King's Chamber. This place is 43 meters or 140 feet above the pyramid's base level. Whoever built the ceiling for it used 9 granite slabs. The lightest slab is 50,000 pounds, and the heaviest one is 176,000 pounds. This is a small example of old world technology that is just out of this world. It's one of those moments where ancient engineering stops feeling ancient and it starts to sound basically impossible. I don't know how exactly they did it, but I'm guessing it would have went something like this. First, the granite boulders had to be quarried from the Aswan region of southern Egypt. Then those blocks, some of which are comparable in weight to a commercial aircraft, then had to be transported hundreds of kilometers to Giza. After that, the granite then had to be shaped into smooth, uniform, precisely symmetrical slabs. Next, they needed to raise it to the ceiling's height, and then the slabs then had to be aligned extremely particularly so it would sit correctly on the chamber walls without gaps or uneven pressure. And once that was all set, the slabs became the ceiling for the king's chamber. I want to make it clear with this video that what we are told about human history on our planet is very suspicious and should be investigated at great lengths. There are countless examples like this all around the world that do not make sense from mathematical and engineering standpoints. So many things just do not add up. In my opinion, there is sufficient evidence everywhere across our planet that human beings were at one point functioning at higher levels of consciousness than we know today. But more on that some other time. Thank you for taking the time to view my presentation. I truly appreciate your attention. Bye and have a good day.